Today, I'll be going over the entire history of the only 8 elixir card in Clash Royale. We'll go over the balance changes, strategies over the past 8 years, and the current state of Golem. Golem has been in the game since Clash Royale's release in March of 2016. Here are Golem's original stats from May 27th, 2016. Goes up to level 8, Golem hit points 5,790, 358 Golem damage, Golem damage per second, 143. Golem death damage, 358. We now have level 15 Golem, 7,456 hit points, 326 death damage, 454 damage, 181 damage per second. Golemite hit points, 1,514, 72 damage, 144 death damage. How did people react to Golem when he first came out? Only reason I lose to him is because everyone who uses him has like a fucking level 4 to 5 Golem every time. Well, I think most people use Giant over Golem until they get 20 Golems in a chest or some shit and then start using it. So unless you had a high level Golem, you were better off just using Giant. And I guess people did not see it as being too OP. Here's the best Golem deck from 2016. You got Baby Dragon, Mega Minion, Archer, Zap, Log, Lightning, Tombstone with Golem. Now the early strategies with this card are the same strategies as today. Wait till double elixir to place your Golem, play defensively, and then find the right time to place Golem, and then support your Golem, take out the enemy's defensive troops, and overwhelm them with a big push. And it worked for TMD Yao Yao. He won the first King's Cup, 25 grand with Golem. That's really nice. Honestly, I'm going to try out this deck and see if it works today. This is probably one of the most popular strategies with Golem, the elixir pump. You play defensively, try and bait a spell, get your pump down, and that way once double elixir hits, you're able to go with your Golem and just overwhelm them with the amount of elixir you have. Now let's go over all the balance changes Golem has gone through the past 8 years. First up, the May 2016 update changed the Golem's appearance to include crystals on its back, removing the team colored spike collars from its neck, and changed the death animation of the Golem and Golemites. The update also fixed the range bug, which decreased the Golem's range to 0.75 tiles from 1.5 tiles, but its effective range was unchanged. The Golemite's range was also decreased from 0.25 tiles from 0.75, but their effective range was unchanged. I made this nice little graph so that we're not just ending up reading a bunch of descriptions. Basically, there have been 5 changes to Golem's stats over the past 8 years, and collectively a 6% HP increase, Golemite HP 8% increase, the damage from Golem 5%, death damage minus 23%, Golemite damage minus 14.5%, Golemite death damage increased by 63%, and the Golemite death pushback from 1.8 to 0.9 tiles. Let's go over more of the changes that did include Golem stats. So in the summer 2018 update, moved the arena to unlock the Golem from Builders Workshop to Barbarian Bowl, and then the September 2018 update changed it so that epic cards start at level 6 and end at level 13. In the summer of 2021, they moved the arena to unlock the Golem from Barbarian Bowl to Hog Mountain. And then with the Champions update, they increased the level cap of all cards to 14 from 13. Lastly, in 2022, a maintenance break added a card render to the Golem's info screen. And then 2023, the Losers update fixed a pathfinding issue related to Golem's sight range. And then the card evolution update increased the level cap of all cards to 15 from 14. In 2017, Night Witch was introduced to the game, which changed Golem beatdown forever. One of the most popular and menacing decks in the entire game, just got even more menacing. And honestly, this archetype still works today, but not as well anymore due to the introduction of Void. In 2018, the meta has shifted quite a bit away from the elixir pump decks and just the kind of faster cycling, smaller troop cards. As you can see, Clash with Ash has this Golem deck with Dark Prince, NATO, Guards, Baby Dragon, Log, Rocky, and Mega Minion. He also shows off this Goblin Hut deck with Poison, Lumberjack, Night Witch. As you can see, Night Witch is going to be in pretty much every deck going forward here. And next up, we got 2019. Again, we have Clash with Ash. He always came in clutch with the Golem decks back in the day. So we got Royal, a pro back in the day, was known for his Golem gameplay. Clash with Ash has him. He's going to talk about the state of Golem back in 2019.
Let's start about the state of Golem inside Clash Royale Royal. What is the state of Golem beatdown right now?
Golem is pretty good in competitive, especially because I used it a lot during the first season of CRL and it was working pretty good. But like last season, it was really bad in the top ladder. So like mid ladder, let's say top 500, it was working pretty good, but nobody could finish high with like top 20 or so.
Why no Night Witch? Because I always thought that Night Witch, like, if there was one spot in this game where she could shine and be effective, it would be in a Golem deck like this.
Yeah, so Night Witch is great, but a lot of people are using Mortar with Prince and stuff, and Night Witch is not that good against those decks, so I really like E-Dragon because it hits 3 units at a time, and it also like stuns them, which is basically what they need.
Okay.
I
so
tried Night Witch, but I had more success with E-Dragon.
This is the first time we're seeing Night Witch not being used inside Golem decks consistently, except for back in 2016. But, 2017, 2018, always saw Night Witch in the deck. So, this is when the Electro Dragon meta officially started with Golem. And honestly, might have to start using Electro Golem today to deal with the Inferno Dragons because I deal with a lot with Mega Knight, deal a lot with Lava Hound, and Lumber Loom Freeze. In 2020, we still do not see Night Witch anywhere, and also Electro Dragon is also not in this meta. People prefer Lightning because Lightning takes out Electro Dragon pretty easily. You can also deal with Inferno Towers a lot better. And Lightning is just overall one of the best spells in the game. And shout out Sirtag. He always came in clutch with Golem decks. Same with Enchain and Clash with Ash. In 2021, we see that Night Witch is back in Golem decks, but this Golem deck is a lot cheaper than the ones we've been seeing before. No pump, no big spells, just a lot of fast cycling due to the meta at the time. In 2022, we get the Champions update. As you can see, there is the Skeleton King in this deck with Tombstone, Baby Dragon, Night Witch, Lightning, Tornado, Barbaro. This is one of the decks that I used a ton back in 2022, and honestly, it is still viable today. I highly recommend you guys try using this deck. Use a variation. Obviously, we have evolutions now, so maybe Wizard and the Bomber would be better, or even Zap instead of the Barbaro. But yeah, once champions were introduced, Skeleton King and Night Witch and Golem were always together. You would never see a Golem deck without those cards together. In 2023, I found the best Clash Royale Golem player ever. Always has top finishes when it comes to Golem, but he has taken a hiatus these past couple of months due to the meta being unbearable when it comes to Golem. But back in 2023, he used this Golden Knight Golem deck, and it was absolutely insane. Bana was the first Golem player that I found that really diversified his Golem decks and separated himself from the rest of the meta when it comes to Skeleton King and Night Witch. As you can see, he's using Phoenix, Golden Knight, Tombstone, Lightning, Baby Dragon. He's got the Barbaro, Tornado, and Golem. And this deck has been one of my favorites. But because Golden Knight isn't as good as what it used to be, this deck honestly isn't viable today. Golden Knight is one of the worst champions today. It's honestly sad that this deck doesn't work anymore because it used to be really good. I think they need to buff Golden Knight back to where he was just scooting around the entire map, hitting the tower at whatever cost. It honestly was a lot more fun back then. Just make it balanced. But Golden Knight's ability is honestly pretty trash nowadays. I owe a lot of my success to Bana. I'm so thankful for his uploads and his Golem gameplay. Just watching him play, he didn't do any commentary. Watch just the Golden Knight ability will hit the tower. They need to add that back. They need to add that back to the game. Anyways, Bana, he came in clutch for me just studying and learning what he was doing, how he was playing. It made me such a better player, and I cannot recommend enough uh watching his videos, watching other players that you like, no matter what type of, meta it is. It's really unfortunate that he hasn't uploaded in a while because Golem's just so unplayable. But when he does come back, I will be using his decks. I'll be watching his videos. But for now, we just kind of have to do what we can. Finally, in 2024, the most common and the best Golem deck was Elixir Pump with Night Witch, Skelly King, and Electro Dragon. Different variations of this deck have gone around, but with Pump, this has been definitely the best Golem deck. And it's really unfortunate that Void has killed Pump. It has killed Electro Dragon in Golem decks. You rarely ever see those two together, and if you do, it is really easy to counter them, even if you don't have Void and stuff. I definitely feel like Electro Dragon needs a buff, and Bana hasn't uploaded for 2 months. He's been MIA. He used to be pretty active, even though he didn't upload too much a couple months ago. But recently, he's been MIA, and it's been really sad because I really enjoy seeing his videos and learning, how to get better. But seems like just the way that the meta's going, he is just not having any of it, and I don't really blame him. I've had to play P.E.K.K.A, I've had to play Giant, just, what's meta, and it's really unfortunate that that's how the game has kind of progressed recently. Now, they did nerf Dagger Duchess, which has introduced a lot of older decks into the game, so maybe there are some Golem decks we just have to find that work in today's meta. But the current state of Golem is looking pretty rough. I think Golem has had a pretty good pass when it comes to, getting within top 10, top 20, but it's not that easy. I would say it's definitely like probably the hardest deck to get within top 10 or even like top 100, honestly. Maybe back in 2019, 2020-ish area, you could do it consistently, but the way that the game has progressed, it is not supported Golem being one of the best decks. Tell me the last time you've seen Golem be within top 100. And if you do, you see like a couple players. I'm talking about, majority of players could get it to the top, but you just can't nowadays the way that the game is set up. I don't know if they're doing that on purpose. Maybe they're like, Golem has had its time. Let's make room for other metas. But I feel like the game should make room for all the decks, and you should have an equal opportunity to get a top 100 finish just as easily as some giant players and, whatnot. So that's currently the state of Golem, in my opinion. I know that a lot of people are having a lot of trouble with Golem decks. We're just going to have to kind of claw our way out of these new cards and balance updates that Clash are doing, especially evolutions. Evolutions have made Golem a lot harder to play. All of the higher DPS troops that they've been adding has made Golem harder to play. And, unless you're really skilled at the game, it is really not easy at all to be playing Golem. So shout out to all the Golem players out there. We're gonna get through this together. And if you guys enjoy Golem content and gameplay, please drop me a follow. Follow my TikTok, my YouTube. I will be doing my best to be updating you guys on the best Golem decks to be using in 2024 and beyond. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. Let me know what you guys think about Golem and if you enjoy the video. Peace out.